We're going to take a look at the last progression of our Flutterfly series right arm single only. Now, in our previous iterations of this drill, we looked at the wearing a couple pieces of equipment. We use Vola blades, we've used a snorkel, we've used fins. So now your athletes are ready to be able to let go of all that and kind of put everything here together as we're going to be moving and then traveling through the water. So let's go over those key things and what we look for. Start out here with a kick. Now again, this is going to be done with a flutter kick. We like to see this kick be done with a moderate because it's just is going to be complementary speed to really just kind of help us keep moving forward as we're traveling through the water. So we're going to emphasize the same things that we've been looking at with our flutter kick up to this point. We'd like to see those feet here be pointed. Really great job right there with our left foot. And then the right foot right here, nice and pointed. And then what we'd like to look for is just going to be what we say is a very natural bend here in the knee. So let's go over just a couple of what would be extremes. An extreme here would be the leg staying nice and straight. So here, if the leg is straight as we're going to be moving through the water, we're going to have a lot of power as we're moving through the water. However, we will not see a lot of long duration of this. If the leg stays like this, it's going to give out. Another extreme would be here is if the leg would be anywhere approaching this. If the foot's really out of the water here, and we're going to be kind of kicking up and down, barely making any contact with the water, we're not going to be moving very well through the water. Same kind of holds true if we would be like this here under the water. If we're under the water here like this, the feet will make contact with the surface going up and down, but it's just going to kind of feel like you're spinning your wheels and you're not going anywhere. So what do we want to kind of see? So here, as the foot is in a raised position, the cue that we like to give our athletes is we really want you to kind of focus on kicking that foot down. And it's got to be done with some power. So when we're going downward, meaning the foot should go under the body, that should kind of create this natural bend in the knee that we like to see. Doing that then should allow us to keep the feet up here at the surface, creating this turbulence at that surface level. So we like to kind of call this whitewater, thunder kick, boiling water. It really doesn't, it all means the same thing at the end of the day. If we can keep those feet up high, that would be really, really good for our athletes. Again, it's done with a moderate kick. Non-stroking arm here is going to stay up at the side in a relaxed position, just in front of the shoulder. And then what we want to look at is going to be the exit point here. Now, let's redraw that line right there. There we go. We'd like to kind of see the hand kind of exit out right at that suit level, between the suit level and where the suit is cut on the hip, or at the top of the hip, or where the suit is cut on the hip. It's kind of the range that we'd like to kind of see our athletes be at as we're going through. Anything shorter than you're just going to kind of be scooping water and not really moving. And then if we're too deep, it's just going to result as we're not going to have a lot of speed as we're moving through the water. Arm here, really nice and low. We really like seeing that. That mimics a great butterfly right there. As the arm is coming out of the water, what we like to see is the palms facing backwards right here. That really helps just the arms travel over the water just so that they're nice, slow, and flat. As we start to make a T here with the arm, what we like to see is the hand then come downward. When we are able to do that, that's going to relax that shoulder. And then we're going to come in. Here we will make contact with the water in front of the shoulder. This is a spot that we really like to see the arm be for our more advanced age group swimmers or our senior level swimmers. Developmental and younger age group swimmers can land outside the shoulders. So kind of like we would see that right here as we're starting to make contact with the water. And then what we would want to make sure is that we are pushing through, getting a good press in that chest and continuing to move. As our athlete here, when do we take that breath? So that's a really good question right here. As that hand begins to pass that shoulder right there, we should lift that head up right here. See that right there? And then what we'll see is, look how low we are to the surface of the water. That chin is basically right there, just a little bit above, which is all right. But the lower we can be, or riding right along the surface, is ultimately where we want to be with that stroke. Then look here. Look how quickly we get that head down. That head should be almost even. Our athlete here could get that head down a little bit sooner. We'd like to see that head be fully down when that hand is about right here. That will allow for that press to or that chest to press down, and then for those arms to really, really stretch forward as we are going through the stroke. And we're doing a great job here as we're going to continuing to go through. Let's take a look at that kick. So here, just again, when that foot rises, we want to see that foot get down below the body. There we go. So see here the depth that's created. That will give you that natural bend in the knee that we like to see. Then return that foot up, creating that turbulence. So it's really hard to see from the takeoff view, but you can take our word that we've got a good kick here behind us. So we look at our return view here. So look how, again, just how low we are to the surface of the water right here as we're taking that breath. That head then is getting back down. Boom, look at that right there. Right before, and then we're making contact with the water here on top of the shoulder. We're remembering to make sure that we are stretching forward while we're also pressing that chest down. And we just keep repeating that. Our athlete's doing a great job here with that. We'll transition here to going under the water just to take a look at that catch. So here, what we would like to see is the hand to be directly under the shoulder. So we can bring this in a lot more. Ultimately, what we want to see and formulate here is this power triangle. So our athlete here has the ability to bring in closer and go just even a little bit deeper with that, so that way we can set up the arm here for that best combination of power and speed to really grab and push that water here behind us. Overall here, if you found some great value, be sure to drop a like. It really, really helps out the channel a lot. And then consider subscribing. We've got a lot of drills, videos for drills, and a pretty extensive library.